Respectful of everybody's time. I'm going to give it one more minute to let people still come in, but very quickly. I'm Deb Cole. I'm the project manager for the Center of Excellence in the Midwest here. And today we're just going to talk with our moderators about some moderating tips and some checklist things that they may or may not want to do before we get our session started this weekend. We're just a few short days away. This session is being recorded, and I will send out a link to all of the moderators and presenters, regardless of whether or not you attended, so you have it. Anybody who has not received an email, either from myself or IU Conference Services, with an invite, a calendar invite with a link to your Zoom session, the title, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So why can I not just show my one desktop? I just don't understand this. Oh my. Okay, so we're going to try to find the email that I was going to show you. So anyways, here is an example of what it would have looked like. Let me just move this sucker out of the way. So you would have gotten something, it would have given you the title of the session. The IU conference centers is the ones that's going to be organizing this. So that's who you'll see as the organizer. You'll see the exact day and time, and then also the link to the Zoom session. And this is what everybody will use to access their session, regardless of whether or not they are a moderator or if they are a presenter. And this gets you in the back end. And the reason why we do this is because we're making all of the attendees use the Whova app. So they're going to be using that chat and that Q&A out there. And then therefore you and your presenter, as well as the IU conference people, can use the chat on Zoom, to communicate with each other, letting each other know, hey, we're ready to go, we're almost near time, etc. I'm going to share our screens right now. And I see that Jose has joined us. Hi, Jose.
Hello, how are you? Sorry,
I am good.
I'm with a different account. Let me rename myself.
So Jose and his team are the ones that we're working with. And so for every single session, there will be an IU host that will be doing the technical back end. And there's going to be a moderator who should be these people that are here at this session right now. And then there's going to be the presenters. I'm going to zip through these really quickly, but at any point in time, everybody, please feel free to stop me, raise your hand, put something in the chat. Let's see here. I got something in the chat. Excellent. All right. So Amber didn't receive one. So anybody who has not received their calendar invite for their session with the Zoom link, please put your name in the chat and I will follow up with you directly following the session. For those that just joined us, we are recording this and this will be distributed. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to zip through these, is the role of the moderator. We're going to give you a checklist of things that you need to do before the conference as well as during the conference. And then we're going to answer your questions as well as give you just a real quick demo as to what this looks like on the desktop as well as in your mobile app. All right. So again, just put your name in the chat if in fact you did not receive your assignments. So the role of the moderator, it's pretty simple. First thing you're going to do, you're the first face that people see. So you're going to be the one that opens the session. You're going to welcome the attendees on behalf of LSMRCE. You're going to provide the housekeeping items, which will be things like how to use or how to get their questions answered. If they're going to use the Q&A, if they're going to use the chat, however they're going to do it. The other thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to tell them how you're connected with the program. You don't have to, but that's always welcome. And then you're going to turn it over to the speaker. All of that should take less than 2 minutes time. The other responsibilities that the moderator has is to keep the session on time. And I would say this is probably the number one responsibility. These sessions are short. Some of them are only 45 minutes. And so we have a very limited amount of time to deliver the information. And a lot of these sessions will have another one beginning very soon after. So we will be ending the sessions on time, regardless of where they are in their presentation. The other thing that the moderator will do is that you will work with your presenter to find out how you're going to field the discussions. Is the presenter themselves going to want to moderate, their questions themselves, or are they going to ask you to do it? Are they going to take pauses in between to answer questions from the audience, or are you going to wait to the end? Those type of things. The other thing that you're going to do is at the very end, you're going to remind everybody to take a survey of the session. So each session is going to have its own survey. It's a Qualtrics link, and those will be distributed here shortly. Those that need a little bit more guidance, we did create a moderator script, and that just has some like detailed information as to things that you could say. This certainly is just guidelines. It's not like verbatim. You don't have to do it verbatim. But for anybody who maybe hasn't moderated before and needs to get an idea, here are the types of things that you would say with your welcome and intro. Talks about, you know, you're welcoming them on behalf, who you are, and then also going through the housekeeping items. Those are listed out here. And the other thing is that at the end, we talked about, you know, you're going to make sure that they do the post-session survey. And this has been distributed to everybody, and I will redistribute it again just to make sure that you have that. Let's see here. Is everybody still seeing my Zoom? I mean, my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Fabulous. Okay.
Yep.
No? Okay. All right.
Yes, Deb, but
Yes.
you're sharing your whole screen so we can see you
Everything.
double and Jose too. We can see all the cameras because you're sharing your whole screen, not just the PowerPoint.
I'm perfectly fine with that because I'm tired of trying to just open an app to show everybody. So look away. So here we are.
It looks
So
fine.
yeah, here's the checklist that we're going to do. So before the conference, there's a couple of things that we ask you to do. Number one is you're going to update the Zoom application on your desktop. And that's really simple to do. If anybody doesn't know how to do that, stay on afterwards and we can actually walk through it really quickly. But those that are familiar with Zoom, you literally go to your Zoom account, and where it has the little account in the right-hand corner, you right click on it and you go down and it says check for updates. But we can demonstrate that here at the end for those that are unfamiliar with that. We also want you to go out and update your profile on Whova. So this is how you're going to communicate who you are to the general audience members of the conference. We are going to ask everybody here to contact their presenter, and I will send out those emails so everybody has who they're partnered with for the different sessions after this. But that information also can be found on the agenda, which is already posted on Whova. And again, the things that you're going to want to talk to your presenter about are things like, what's the flow of the session? Are you going to be having a panel discussion? Are you going to be doing all presentation? You know, just kind of find out, you know, how the presenter plans to use that time that they have. The other thing is that you're going to ask, well, how do you want me to moderate your questions, or do you want me to moderate your questions? Because some presenters really like to just do it themselves. And if that's the case, then perfect. I don't need to do anything. I just sit back here. But if they do want you to be involved in the questions, some presenters will want to give you some feeder questions. So like you get to the point where there's a Q&A and nobody's putting anything in the Q&A, your presenter might give you some feeder questions to facilitate some discussion. And so I would ask about that. And the other two things that you need to ask about is, do they have any videos or anything special or fancy that they plan to do with their session? And the only reason why we need to know that is because that 15 minutes before that session begins, we need to make sure we communicate that to the IU conference person to make sure that, you know, there's the correct things that are checked. And the other thing that you need to talk to your presenter about is, so if we're on here and I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, how do you want me to let you know if we only have 5 minutes left or we're nearing time? So those are just the things that you need to kind of have that conversation with, or that communication with back and forth with your presenter. Any questions so far about things that I talked about? Please feel free to take yourself off of mute if you do. All right. Well, the only other thing that I would suggest for pre-conference is go ahead and familiarize yourself with the Whova app if you have not already. It's really kind of a cool tool. There's the desktop version and the mobile version. They're both a little bit different. So I would go ahead and I would use both and just kind of play around with them if you have the time and the interest. All right, so now so here is during the conference. This is when we're here the day of presentation. So we're going to ask everybody to log on 15 minutes early. And again, you're going to use that link that was sent to you in your invite on the Outlook meeting. Probably a lot of people already know how to do this, but like if in fact you're not named correctly in your Zoom, go ahead and rename yourself. And we need to do this so that that way the IU conference person knows that you're the moderator or you're the presenter, and they give you the correct permissions. And once you go ahead and you get the correct permissions, you're going to want to check your mic and your video with the IU conference person. And again, you're only going to use the Zoom link in your calendar invite to connect. You're not going to connect to it via the Whova app. your session. And then you're going to use the Whova discussion instead of the Zoom Q&A, because we talked about before how we're going to make everybody use the Q&A out in Whova, so that way we can use the chat on this side to talk between the presenters, the moderators, and the IU conference people. And then the other thing you're going to do during the session is you're going to post that survey link, that's a Qualtrics link, into the Whova chat. And I would ask you to do that just a few minutes before the session ends, and then at the very end when the session ends as well. And then the other thing is, and this is something more for the presenter than it is for you, but it's something that we just want to make sure everybody does, is that they post their presentation materials to their session as an attachment, so everybody can kind of see what those slides are that were presented. Any questions about this? I see something in the chat. Hang on a minute. Oh, okay. Thank you, Anna. I will make sure, or Dr. Mosier, I will make sure that you have, you'll get yours as well. And so we have for the opportunity to get a demo of Whova. I'm just gonna, let's see where we are on time. Oh, we're really good on time. Okay, well, I am gonna do it then, because I wasn't sure how we were gonna be on time here. So there's two different ways that you can moderate. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you where the Whova guide is. This is super easy to look at, and it's really short, and it's actually helpful, which I find nice. So this Whova speaker guide, and I will disseminate this directly following this talk as well. There's the link here. You'll be able to access it from here. You're also able to access it via the app itself. And it talks about, you know, if you're going, you're presenting and you're moderating. So I'm just going to scroll down to past like where we're actually presenting and when we're going to moderate. And so here I am, I'm moderating on the mobile app. I'm going to zoom in here so you can really see what it is. So the cool thing is with the mobile app is that there's a thing on the actual app where it's like, it's the hub, it's called Speaker Hub. You click on that and it says questions for my audience. You click on that. It shows like the different sessions that you've been assigned. You click on the session that you're looking at, and then it shows you all the questions that are coming in. So there's really no need for you while you're moderating a session to be on the desktop if you don't want to. You could just use your app, or vice versa. You could use the desktop as well. So how it looks on the desktop is here I am, and I'm here. And what I could do is I could find my session in the agenda. And so I'm just going to go to the agenda. Show the agenda. I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to do this one right here. So this is the one that I have been assigned. If I'm going to moderate, I'm not going to use the link that's here. Again, I'm going to use the link that was sent to me via the Outlook to connect. And then to moderate the questions, those will be over here on the right. And they'll just come in as people post them. And the cool thing about Whova is they allow the people in the audience to upvote them, meaning that the ones that get like the most amount of votes, being the most important information, float to the top. So those will always be at the top. And again, it's between you and your presenter as to whether or not you're even going to be responsible for this piece. But just know this is where you would get it on the mobile app. I mean, I'm sorry, on the desktop and on the mobile app, it's underneath the Speakers Hub. Any questions on this? Has anybody, first of all, has anybody used this before and have any comments about it? No? Dr. Gallant, did you want to say something, or is that from before?
Oh, no, that was, we used Whova last year. It was really nice.
Okay. Did you find it burdensome at all as far as like moderating or anything?
No, I did not. In fact, I think I just used the desktop instead of trying to figure the app. Yeah, I just used the desktop.
Yeah. And so there are some differences in features, and that's something that maybe Jose can go into here in a little bit if people want to stay on and go through that. But for the most part, I mean, as far as the moderator goes, you can do both from either one equally, I feel. So that is it as far as the Whova goes. I'm going to go back to our presentation really quickly. And so we're at the questions, and then Jose, if you'll stay on and be able to run people through the Whova and answer their questions for anybody that needs to stay. But those that don't have any questions are free to leave, but we'll stay on for the next 15 minutes or so. Anyone have any questions? Okay, well, if I don't have any questions coming in, I will, again, this has been recorded. I will disseminate this as well as the Whova guide. I'll also send you at the same time the names of your presenters and their contact information so that you'll be able to get in contact with them. But always know that just reach out to me if you have any questions at all. I'm available 24/7. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And for those that put their stuff in the chat, I will make sure I send that to you. Okay, I got you, Dr. All right, I got you too. All right. Dr.
Can I-
Eden Spencer, I'll make sure.
Can I
Yes.
ask a question that,
Absolutely.
so I assume the people in this meeting did receive the invitation to the Zoom that they were part of that list of use.
They should have been, yes. So that's why I asked them to put their name in the chat if in fact they didn't receive it.
How many have you received?
Just a few. And we'll
Oh.
go through, we can go through those afterwards. And some of these I know were my responsibility. So
Yeah.
I need to do those, but
If you
all
put,
right,
if you send me, okay, go ahead.
I was just to say, if we want to, we can ask people if they have any questions about using the Whova, and we could go ahead and we can demonstrate whatever they want to have demonstrated. Does anybody have any questions or specific questions about Whova? No? Oh, having trouble with audio. Okay, Dr. Vumu, go ahead and log off and log back in. You can also use the chat. If for some reason your audio isn't working, please use the chat. I believe I gave everybody permission to speak. Yes, everybody has permission.
Yes, you did.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Stay on if you want to walk through. We're going to wait for Dr. Vumu to join us if we could. Jose, did I hear you coughing?
Allergies.
Mm.
I have I'm probably lack of water. I have to get myself a huge bottle of water. So if I don't get up to get, at least I have it here. I have to get up for, to go to the bathroom. At least there is a way I'm gonna get myself to, move and drink water.
I've got my trusty water bottle here that I fill up every day, all day long. I have to have it. All right. I don't see Dr. Vumu coming on yet. All right. Jose, could you go ahead and just show us the things that you feel would be important for a moderator within Whova, the desktop?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Pull it
I have
up.
a quick question. So,
Yes, please.
so I participated last year, and it's saying that my login doesn't work because the event ended 3 months ago. Is there a workaround to
Oh, Dr. Mosier, I'm guessing that it's one of the things where maybe we used a different email. So we might have to use your old email to be able to use those old settings and be able to just see everything before. It might have been the UKY email at that point.
So the email that is being set used for you is anna.chicamosier@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Okay.
Not sure. I might actually have to contact
Clear your
support.
cache. Or clear your cache, maybe your browser cache, and try again.
Okay.
The other thing is that forgot my password. So if you know what your email is, that is for sure what you're going to use to log in. And then if you just don't know what your password is, you can say forgot password, and then it will send you a link to reset that.
Yeah, it's just giving me a weird error. This event ended more than 3 months ago. Please contact support for more details.
Yes.
Oh, I bet you're trying to log into last year's conference.
Oh, yes. Here, use this link. Hold on. I'm going to put it right there in the chat.
Yeah.
So if you Google LSMRCE Whova, it does bring the 2020 conference. So that may be something to
I just sent you in the chat the new dashboard.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just sent it to her directly.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just
got it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll also make sure everybody has the current link to the current interface too.
Yes.
Deb, will you let me share my screen by stopping
Please.
yours?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I have to stop.
You're
sharing.
fine.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. But can you see this right here?
Yes.
Good. For some reason-
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, it's not putting that little border around. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go directly to the session. So if you're in the homepage, this is where you're gonna land. You can find all kind of information. There's a lot of, this is an activity feed. You can see what other people are doing. But I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right to the agenda. Within the agenda, there are multiple things that you can find associated somewhat to an agenda or an event within the event. That is, you can find the speakers, you can find round tables. There are right now two. I think there's going to be a third table. Each table is comprised of smaller tables. So this one has 12 tables, and this one I believe has 6. That's an event that's going to take place at some time. Right here you find it. But then I'm also going to go to the what Hoover considers exhibitor. I'm sorry.
Artifact.
Artifact. Thank you very much. Artifact, which could be called poster. Is basically you can enter each of the booth. You can see the pre-recorded video. You can see some of the documentation if it was provided by the presenter, and then you can actually look at multiple. And I don't know, Deb, if there's it's going to be any live videos here. Can you tell me if that's the case?
No, we're not going to do the live. This is just
Okay.
for people to
Pre-recorded.
view at their pleasure. Yeah.
All right, cool. This is pre-recorded. I just wanted to let you know in case there's the possibility, but we're not doing it, of putting a live feed in there. Obviously, we're not. So let me stick to the session now. You can go back as far as what we started here. There's, I believe, a recording from these sessions that took place earlier, so you can find it and you can actually see it here. Then you can actually skip. Whoever knows that there were no any activities between these days, so you can just basically go to the next day that had activities, and you can find another recording there. And then further down in the agenda, by Friday, you have every single sessions. Now, there are sessions that have sub-sessions. What does that mean? You have a parent session or a session that basically talks about a specific topic. And within that topic, you can find multiple subtopics, that this person here, Mindy, is going to be talking about. Now, what we have done is that we have put the live stream in the parent session only, and all the speakers are going to basically take turns. So basically, I would say that Mindy Capaldi is going to be the first person, and then the second person is going to be Resmi, sorry, I don't know how to say the last name, and then finally Kelly Wentz Hodler. So basically, everybody's going to be in the front end. Now, is there a reason that this is only giving me this option? Do you want me to change this option? You want to keep it as it should give me the option where I have the big screen.
Yeah, the big screen. However you need to change it is fine. Yeah.
I'll change it. Okay, I'll make it. I'll find it. Let me just find out what session that was so I can remember to do it. All right. Actually, wasn't it this the session? Let me see.
It was I'll remind you afterwards. I know which one it is. Yeah.
Okay, you remind me, and I can change that. Anyway, so basically the participants are gonna come here, and this will actually go away as if the session gets closer. Right now, it's just too early. But if I were to proceed anyway, I have the option to join via Zoom or via Huba. Both are Zoom tools. Huba, what it happens is that Zoom has basically a Zoom for the web. Let's put it that way. It's a Zoom for the web. So basically, you can actually join the meeting. It will be just your typical Zoom meeting. Right now, it says nobody has started that meeting. But if I choose to go back, join via Zoom, I I pick this option, or I could just start it there. That what that will do is that it will actually launch the Zoom app, the native Zoom app, which is what you're using in this meeting to when you join. So basically, that has allows the participant to choose one of the options. And here's the Q&A. If I start asking questions, I'm an administrator to this dashboard. Administrators, participants don't see this view as an attendee option. They just see this ask question. As people ask questions, you see them getting populated. And I'm gonna find something that has a question. Sorry, I'm just gonna jump really quick here to find something that already has a question. Something that has a question here. This is a good one. This one has a question, but let me go in the front end. This is just a way to get on the Q&A back end. I'm just gonna go to that session and show you what it looks like.
It's the 22nd.
22nd? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it wasn't showing. There you go. So if I go there, see, if I see as an attendee, I don't have the option to either pin the question to the top, which means Who uses the upvoting method. So if people start voting, the questions start moving to the top. But if I pin a question to the top, being an administrator or a speaker have the right to do this also. They'll be able to see this. The question will actually go to the top. No matter how many people vote other questions, it will never go to past that. I can actually hide the question from the audience. Sometimes it doesn't apply. So if I hide the question and I see as an attendee, see, there's no question there. So I'm going to go as a moderator and enable it again. So if I go back as an attendee, the question is still there. And then I can also answer it. So if I go to answer, if I see as an attendee, it says this question has been answered. So I'm just going to go here and undo that. So if I want to answer that question as a speaker or somebody else who wants to answer the question, they can go here and type their question. They can even upload a picture and it goes here. It's very nice. The chat is just like Deb was saying, the chat in Zoom will be disabled for the participants. So they basically have to use this chat. Anything that is written here is the way I see it is a little more informal. If you have an actual Q&A, I will use the Q&A. That way it's more, it can be marked as answer and all that, but I find sometimes people do the chat kind of in the same purpose. The beautiful thing about using the Q&A and the chat in Huba is that once the Zoom meeting is over, this remains and people can go back and read them. When you have a Zoom meeting that ends, you basically, the chat and the Q&A go away. Here, basically, you can see the list of speakers and you can type, if you see the profile of a speaker, it tells you what session they're going to be speaking at, a little bit of their bio, affiliation, and whatnot. Here is the document that, in this case, he actually added his resume to his profile. Attendees, here you can see all the attendees. You can search attendees and you can actually say hi. You can actually test or sending different chat messages. So if you go here to the messages, you can actually go here and new message. I'm going to do Deb, and I can go here and I can send something to Deb. I can even start. So if I go to a specific speaker, I can actually do a video call. Now the speaker will get a notification that I like to engage in a video call, and they need to get I need to get their permission in order to do that. And then it just uses your camera and basically I want to say FaceTime kind of thing. Community, here you find a lot of different things in terms of how you can actually engage with others. There's a lot of of virtual meets that have been scheduled. You can schedule it using your own Zoom link. You can schedule it using your the Huba technology, which only allows 30 people in a room at once. So if you go to suggest a meetup and then go to virtual meet, you can enter the topic, the description, choose the method. In this case, if you don't have a Zoom account, you can just use the Whova and then the start time and end time, and then it will appear here. So people can actually RSVP. You can see what people have been actually, if I join the activity, I can get this into my my calendar, and I can also type, it's kind of the chat room for that particular meeting, and I can join the meeting here. As the organizer, this is where people ask questions to the organizers, and we will be able to answer them. Let me show you something that is really nice about this. You can actually tag people by putting a percent and then Deb, and then start going, and then it just basically tags people. And this is a lot of way for you to kind of see who, you know, if somebody's being addressed, so you can actually see your name and whatnot. You can enter your icebreaker. If I do my icebreaker, I have a question I can choose, you know, and I'm just gonna skip it out. You can see what other people have been doing. You can also create topics. I can create a new topic by going here, and then people, as soon as you create a topic, you're basically creating a chat room for that topic. What drives your research? It's created by Danielle, this participant, and then people can actually go in and talk about it. You have exhibitors. In this case, you know, you can win prizes by liking, submitting. If you go to a booth and then you do opportunities and you enter your information, you actually get points towards your towards getting a passport stamp. You need to, I think, say something in the chat, I believe. You also have to send this, and you have to like the session, which you do right. Oh, like right here. So like I said, there are messages. You can go to the win prizes, and this is right now there's a gamification going on that you can read about it. Resources, there are other resources. You can see the Q&As here. You can see the video gallery. All the videos are being uploaded in the agenda that is there here. If you want to see the ones that are in the exhibitors or the artifact center, you have to go there. Here it only shows you the agenda videos. Same with the documents. You see only the ones that are tied to an agenda item. But if you want to see documents in other sessions, you just go to there, being those sessions being the LSMRCE or the exhibitors. And the other resources, we have the polls. Polls have been created. Feel free to answer them. Help desk. That's if you have any questions. This is, you know, we're telling you basically how you can reach out to us. Also, you have, you know, the Twitter and the Whova guides. The Whova guides can be actually found here. Any questions? I think it would be, it's great that if you just sign in, you know, and kind of get familiarized with this. You know, once you go, download the mobile app. Basically, everything you see here is in the palm of your hand. If you are moderating a session, it's very nice to have your phone next to you because you can see all the all those tools. Sorry, right here on your phone, so you could actually, you don't have to be switching between Zoom and Whova if you only have one screen. I have three, so it's easy for me to kind of look at multiple things. But if you don't, the mobile app is a great tool for that. Any other question? Anybody has a question for me or Deb? And like I said, it's very, very, very important. It's actually very useful if you just familiarize yourself with the agenda and just go here. You're not gonna break anything, you know. If you were to put a post you want to delete because you meant to, you know, we can change it. You just have to reach to us and we can delete it. Stuff like that. I have to run to another
Thank
meeting.
you, Jose.
Oh, you're welcome.
I-
But you know, I'm here for you. So if you have any questions, let me know.
I certainly will. Thank you so much, Jose.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jose.
Mhm.
All right, everyone. So I appreciate everyone hanging in there. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, or you can stay right here on the line and we will talk.